Hey there, it's Ben from Pattern Profits bringing you the weekend update and weekly watch list into the week of February 7th. We are starting with IWO, our proxy for small cap growth. Battle going on here at anchored VWAP off of this recent low. Buyers in control above, sellers in control below, dancing around that. We'll just have to see how this plays out early next week. What's interesting here, too, you got most of the major averages bottomed here. IWO undercut. So like the Qs and the SPYs, this is your bottoming candle. But here with the small cap growth, this undercut. Haven't seen that with SPY and QQQ. The others, FFTY, PDP, they basically look the same, just a battle going on. FFTY didn't undercut here. Came down kind of retested, but didn't undercut this low and then held above that anchored VWAP on Friday. And then if we look at PDP, same type of thing here, but this one did slightly undercut, but now holding that level, anchored VWAP off of this low. And when you compare that to, say, QQQ, you can see that the bottom was here. This didn't undercut. And if you add on anchored VWAP, and that 34 days, that's a little bit early. We usually look for 40 days, which is exactly what happened. IWM was right at 39 days, but you can see that anchored VWAP here as well, holding as support. So we'll just have to see early in the week. You've got plenty of levels as resistance above year to date anchored VWAP, 1020 cloud. You're kind of bouncing in between the 10 portion, which is down here, 20 portion up here. So just have to see how that plays out early in the week. Getting into the watch list, Bristol Myers, not the most exciting name, but it is what's out there at this point. If we were to come off of that high 65.85 standard pivot there, cup, you're putting in the handle now, had this nice bullish outside day on Friday. You've had some nice green volume bars on the way up here. 1020 clouds right there held as support. So just looking for the push through pivot there, 65.85, the pivot above. Want to definitely see big volume come in through there if getting involved. LMT, Lockheed Martin. This one has now put in the handle. 1020 cloud right there catching up to price. Let me bring this over a little more to where that gap is. And if we zoom out a little, you'll see this is part of a much larger pattern here. And then actually, let's zoom out even a little further and bring this over here. And you can kind of see that you're holding this level and 1020 cloud as it forms this handle of the much larger pattern. So just looking for that to come out of there. 396.99, the standard pivot above. We also have CIVI. This one in energy. Love the way this one's setting up. Consolidation here. You've got the power of three real tight there. Year to date anchored VWAP just below 2. So just need that to push through 59.65, the standard pivot. A couple pocket pivots down there, but would want to see that come through there on big volume as well. We also have METC and coal, another group that's been really hot. Came out of the pinch, came back all the way back, retested the lower end of that range, now came back out of the pinch again, reclaimed, took out that descending trend line on Friday and did that on good volume. Bunch of pocket pivots up the right side. You do have 10, 20, 50 cloud, very close volume shelf, point of control right there too. So it can manage that tightly on continuation upside there or on a light volume pullback into this area. Watch for 1020 cloud. If it does continue to make progress, watch for 1020 cloud here to go green. Can use that to manage, kind of like back here, as you see, 1020 cloud can be used to manage risk on the way up. Also have BKNG, really like this group. You got a couple others, Expedia, EXPE in the group looks good too. Volume shelf, point of control holding as support. Year-to-date anchored VWAP right there. Just needs a takeout. I'm watching this descending trend line. Would love to see a close above that descending trend line. Hasn't been able to do that. That gets an early entry ahead of the standard pivot there, 25.1825. Again, some pocket pivots up the right side here. Get through there, then we can start thinking about that prior high, 26.8729 above. Also going to be watching DWAC. This one has set up really nicely. Let me move this over a little bit too. So 91.50, the standard pivot above. If I zoom in a little bit more, is see how you've got an inside day there. It's actually all within the wick too. So that inside day comes out to the upside. That would be over Friday's high, 86.32, maybe 86.85 over this high. Add a little more on continuation. Gets in and can build that position ahead of where a lot of eyes are going to be at that 91.50 standard pivot above. Lastly, I have VSCO already in this one. This one, year to date, anchored VWAP. Let me move this back over. Year to date, anchored VWAP and anchored VWAP off of this gap acting as support. I'll blow it up a little bit more. Acting as support here below. And now you have the anchored VWAPs off of the high and off of the IPO. Let me come back down. IPO, anchored VWAP out of the high, pushing through there, closed above there. Finally, it hadn't had a close above there during this stretch. Want to see continuation upside there. Turn those anchored VWAPs back to the upside. The high there, 57.94. So want to see it push through there. Again, not a lot of setups out there in the land of growth. So having to kind of explore elsewhere for what's actionable. At the same time, got to keep an eye on the major averages. 3 out of 4 stocks at least are going to follow the major averages. So very important to keep an eye on how they act. 10 MA below acting as support, 20 MA above acting as resistance. So definitely still a battle going on with the Qs and the SPY. So have to see how that plays out, as that will play a huge role in how these other setups act during the week. That's all I've got. Hope you have a great trading week, and I'll see you over on FinTwit.